Hey, had a little technical problem there. Hello, I am Dr. Bill Bledsoe, bringing you another version of the Sacred Heart Yoga morning prayers, which I dearly love and cherish. I hope you get as much out of it as I do. We'll begin with prayer. Dear God, I thank you for this wonderful method of prayer each morning of each of us praying aloud our heartfelt prayers, toning afterwards, and doing body movements that heal our bodies, while our prayers heal our minds, our hearts, and our souls. And thank the generations that have brought this to us, from the house of Abraham, the house of David, from Jesus, his mother Mary, Father Joseph, Mary Magdalene, and Virginia Ellen, who wrote the book, Sacred Heart Yoga, so that anybody in the world can practice this ancient method of prayer. Now, if you'll repeat after me, we'll do the Sacred Heart Yoga prayer. Beloved, I devote this practice this day to the evolution of my soul, to the fulfillment of my destiny, in service to the One, and I allow myself to be purified as I rejoice in the kingdom of heaven and the love of God. And I give thanks for these blessings, these moments I share with my body and my spirit in oneness with you. And so it is. Amen. Om. Now we're going to clear our energy fields. This means get rid of any fears, any unwanted distractions that would take us away from God's love. Love and fear prevent, the fear will prevent the love, will prevent us from being able to love and prevent us from being able to feel God's love. So we clear the fear by putting our right hand up to the 12 o'clock position, move it over to the 3 o'clock position, right knee, left knee, back to the 9 o'clock position, and back up to the 12 o'clock position. And as we do this motion, repeat after me. I clear my energy field of anyone or anything standing within. I bless them and I send them to the light. Om. Now we're going to ask God, how may we serve you? And I usually, doing this every day, I get something different every day. And it comes to me in just one or two words. Never a long dissertation. We do put our hands over our hearts, and our prayers begin with, God, how may I serve you? Now we're going to stand up and we're going to announce what the one or two words were that came to us. And we do this by getting in standing position, our palms forward, hands at our sides. And our prayers begin with, God, my intention to serve you is to Om. Now we lay down on our backs. And we pull our right knee up to our chest. And here our prayers begin with, Father, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our right foot in our left hand and let our right knee fall down to the mat. And as we do this, we take our right arm extended straight above our heads, stretched out and down to the mat. And our prayers begin with, Father, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our right foot in our right hand, pull it down to our pelvis, and this time our left arm goes straight up above our heads. And our prayers begin with, Father, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our right foot and we point it up towards the heavens. Our left arm still extended above our heads and down to the mat. And our prayers begin with, Father, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we let that left leg go up to the heavens and fall out to the right side of our bodies, opening our pelvis as wide as we can. Our arms fall straight out to the sides, palms up and down to the mat. And our prayers begin with, Father, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our right foot across our bodies over to the left side. And we turn our head to the right, and our prayers begin with, keeping our shoulders down on the mat, our prayers begin with, Father, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we go back to resting position, which is always our feet outstretched, arms at our sides. And this time we pull our left knee up to our chest. And our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you and I truly thank you for Om. Now we hold our left foot with our right hand, pull it over to our right thigh, and let our left knee fall down to the mat. Our left arm goes straight up above our head, stretched out down to the mat. And our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our left foot in our left hand, holding it down near our pelvis. This time our right arm gets extended straight above our heads and down to the mat. And our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we put our left foot up towards the heavens and our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our arms straight out to the sides, palms up, extended out from our shoulders. Our left leg goes up to the heavens and falls out to the left side of our bodies. Here, our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we turn our heads to the left and we take our left leg across our bodies over to the right side and down to the mat. Our shoulders stay down on the mat and our prayers begin with, Mother, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we go back to resting position and we pull both knees up to our chest, holding them there with our hands and arms. And our prayers begin with, God, I love you and I thank you for Om. Now we take our right foot in our right hand, our left foot in our left hand. put the soles of our feet together down near our pelvis. And our prayers begin with, God, I love you, and I thank you for Now we pull our feet apart, keeping them down near our pelvis, and our prayers begin with, God, I love you, and I thank you for Now we point both feet up towards the heavens, and our prayers begin with, God, I love you, and I thank you for Now we let our feet fall down to the mat near our pelvis, knees upwards. Our arms extend out to the sides this time. Our palms are down on the mat, facing down. We turn our heads to the left and our knees to the right, keeping our shoulders down flat on the mat. And our prayers begin with, God, I love you, and I truly thank you for Now we turn our heads to the right and our knees go to the left side of our body. Again, keeping our shoulders down on the mat, our arms extended, palms down on the mat. And our prayers begin with, God, I love you, and I thank you for Now we go back to resting position. This time our hands will go under our sit bones, and we're going to surrender anything to God that could get in the way of our prayers, of our walk with God, any fears that will block our love or God's love, any distractions. And we surrender these to God by putting our hands under our sit bones, leaning forward on our elbows, trying to touch the tops of our heads back down to the mat. And our prayers begin with, God, I surrender to you. Now we lay back down on the mats and we take our left arm up towards the heavens and let it fall over to the right side of our bodies, stretching our shoulder. And we take our right hand halfway between our left elbow and left shoulder, stretching it over farther. And our prayers begin with, God, I choose Now our right arm goes up to the heavens and falls over to the left side of our body, and we pull it over, stretch it over farther with our left hand halfway between our right elbow and right shoulder. And our prayers begin with, God, I can. Now we go back to a resting position and we pull our feet up to our pelvis, soles of our feet together, knees falling out, forming a tabernacle below our bodies. And then we form a second tabernacle of our hearts by putting our hands in prayer position over our hearts and extending them up 2/3, 3/4 of the way up to heavens. And in this tabernacle of our hearts, we find God's beautiful chalice. It's filled with anything that we could ever desire to be in service to God. And here we can drink from the chalice anything that we want. And our prayers begin with, God, I drink from your chalice, your gifts of Now we put our hands still in prayer position over our heads and down to the mat. Our elbows fall out to the sides. This forms a tabernacle over our entire bodies. And our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for my mind, my body, my spirit, my soul, and Now we are going to start the anointing series where we keep our hands in prayer position during the whole anointing series. And we'll repeat it 3 times. We're anointing things that God has given us gifts from God. And so we take our thumbs in prayer position over our foreheads. And here our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gift of Now we take our thumbs down to our lips in prayer position, and our prayers begin with, God, I bless and I dedicate only in service to you your gift of. Now we take our hands down over our hearts in prayer position, and our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for this gift of Om. Now, the fourth posture is a movement in each of the three anointing series. And it's a movement by putting our fingers down into our abdomens and extending them out to the 3 o'clock and then 12 o'clock positions. And as we do this movement, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body and my mind and my spirit and my soul with your gifts of Om. Now we take our thumbs back to our foreheads and our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gift of Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips and our prayers begin with, God, I bless and I dedicate only in service to you your gift of Om. Now we take our hands in prayer position over our hearts and our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for this gift of Om. Now we do the motion of pointing our fingers down into our abdomens, going out to the 3 o'clock and 12 o'clock positions. And as we do this, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul with your gift of Om. Now we do the third and final in the anointing series, our thumbs back to our foreheads, and our prayers begin with, God, I anoint your gift of Om. Now we take our thumbs down to our lips and our prayers begin with, God, I bless and I dedicate in service to you your gifts of Om. Now we take our hands down over our hearts in prayer position, and our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for your gift of Om. Now we do the motion, putting our fingers into our abdomens and extending out to the 3 o'clock and then the 12 o'clock position. And as we do this motion, our prayers begin with, God, I fill my body, my mind, my spirit, and my soul with your gifts of Om. Now we go back to resting position, arms at our sides, feet outstretched, and we cross our right ankle over our left ankle, our right wrist over our left wrist, over our hearts. And here our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for your protection, your safety. Om. Now we go back to resting position. We roll over on our sides and push ourselves back up into sitting position using our arms and our hands. We take our right foot straight out in front of us. Our left foot goes across our right knee. We turn to the left, and our prayers begin with, we turn to the left with our head and shoulders, our left arm behind our backs. Our right arm goes around our left knee. And our prayers begin with, desire I am, desire I am, desire I am. I desire Om. Now we take our left foot straight out in front of us. Our right foot goes across our left knee. We twist to the right this time, holding our right knee with our left arm. Our right arm goes behind our backs for support. Our head and shoulders get twisted to the right. And our prayers begin with, will I am, will I am, will I am. I will. Om. Now we get up on our knees. Hold our hands in prayer position over our hearts. And our prayers begin with, God, I thank you for Om. Now we're going to put the tips of our thumbs together and the tips of our first fingers together, forming a tabernacle, a tiny one. And we'll put it down on the tabernacle, down on the mat, and we'll put our foreheads in it. And here our prayers are just to feel God's love entering our bodies, healing our bodies, our minds, giving us peace and love, and the ability to create new cells as old cells die off. God's gift of creation. Now we go back to sitting position. This time our right leg goes out to the right side, extended out. Our left foot goes to the inside of our right thigh. Here our prayers begin with, God, I am. Now we take our left leg out to the left side and pull our right foot up to the inside of our left thigh. And here our prayers begin with, God, I will. Now we go back into sitting position, sitting straight and tall. Our hands are palms up on our knees, our thumbs touching our middle two fingers. And we keep our back straight and we bow out our pelvis. And here our prayers begin with, I bow to my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul. Now we sit back up straight and tall and we bow a second time at our pelvis. And here our prayers begin with, I bow to you, God, to the one, the oneness, the Father, the Mother. Now we feel where we're grounded. Our left pelvis and right pelvis are down on the mat. And on our left pelvis, we feel the mother's white light of love, of nurturing, of creating new cells within our body, of creating new life all around us. This white light comes up and fills our legs. And the white light fills our abdomens, it fills our hearts to fullness. And like a beacon, it shines out from our hearts. And this white light comes up through our throats and into our heads, and our heads can shine like a beacon also, sharing the white light of the mother's love. And we let the white light go out the tops of our heads, and it shines up into the heavens and showers down on the earth around us. Now we feel the blue light of wisdom, of knowing, every cell in our body, knowing what to do, our minds knowing what to do to be in service to God, knowing truth that there is a God, and He is always there to help us in our walks. And we feel this blue light fill our legs with truth, with knowing, every cell in our legs knowing how to repair themselves, knowing the truth. Every cell in our abdomens knowing the truth. Our hearts filled with this blue light of the Father, His love, and shining out from our hearts in all directions. And this blue light goes up through our throats and into our heads. And here it fills our heads with everything we need to know to be in service to God. Then the blue light goes up into the heavens and showers down on the whole earth around us, available for every living creature. Now we can step up into the light above our heads, and here we ask, we can stay here as long as we want. And while we're there, we ask one question. Not just one question, but the one question that we need to ask while we're there, along with many questions. Question is, God, what do I need to know this day